Gellibrand. Are there any constituency statements? I call the member for Fisher.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. The Royal Commission into Institutional Responses to Child Sexual Abuse began its final public hearings this week into the Catholic Church. It should be remembered that the Royal Commission is not only examining the conduct of those in the Catholic Church but all institutions in Australia. On the 6th of February, just yesterday, Counsel assisting the Royal Commission, Gail Furness SC, tendered a report to the Commission. The report results from research conducted by the Royal Commission, supported by the Church's body, for coordinating their response to the Royal Commission, the Truth, Justice and Healing Council from Catholic Church authorities. It sought to estimate the numbers and proportions of priests and non-ordained religious members of the Catholic Church who were alleged perpetrators of child sexual abuse in at least one claim. As a committed Catholic, I found those figures deeply disturbing, although it is important to point out that the figures relate to allegations of misconduct rather than actual findings of guilt. The data relates to incidents that are alleged to have taken place during the period of 1950 to 2010, though it only includes claims reported since 1980. It includes priests, brothers, sisters, lay employees and volunteers. There were 1,880 alleged perpetrators were identified in claims of child sexual abuse. 4,444 alleged child sexual abuse incidents were reported. 572 of these were by priests, 693 by non-ordained religious and 543 by lay people. 7% of all priests overall are estimated to have been identified in at least one claim. This figure is higher than the US equivalent of 5.6%. The average age of male victims was 11.5 years old and 10.5 years old for female victims. The Truth, Justice and Healing Council said these numbers are shocking, they are tragic and they are indefensible. And each entry in this data, for the most part, represents a child who suffered at the hands of someone who should have cared for and protected them. And let's not forget the ripples of the abuse also felt by family, friends and carers. But perhaps the most disconcerting evidence that has been heard by the Commission, if that is at all possible, is the leadership of the Church and their systemic failure to protect those most vulnerable who were entrusted to it. Church leadership has a great deal to answer for their willingness to sweep things under the carpet and in fact hide these atrocities from parishes where religious and priests were sent to unbeknownst of their people's history. Many children have suffered and continue as adults to suffer from their experience in Catholic institutions, and we as a government have taken steps to introduce a Commonwealth redress scheme.